Hi everyone, I'm Chef Leroy and welcome to my cozy kitchen. So today I'm going to show you how to make grilled chicken noodle soup. That's what we're doing today. So let's get after it. Okay, I've got my 6-quart pot here. I've got a yellow pepper, I've got yellow onion, I've got carrot, celery, egg noodles. This is a 1-pound bag. We're only going to use half the 1-pound bag. I've got some Swanson chicken broth. This is 33% less sodium. I got 2 of these. These are both 48 ounce. I've got minced garlic here. I've got some pepper I'm going to put in there. We've got olive oil. And I'm knocking my spoon down. And of course we have grilled chicken. Okay. So in the pot so far what I've got in here is I've got a half teaspoon of dry thyme and I've got 2 large bay leaf. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the minced garlic to this. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, okay? Now we're going to just get after all these vegetables, okay? All right, I'm going to clear the board so I can work on onion here. All right, there we go. So the plan on this is I've got 1½ yellow onion, and I'm going to give it a dice here. Let me move that pot out of the way so you can see well. So I'm going to cut across, follow the grain, not trying to slice the onion all the way through. Okay, keep your fingers back. Give it a little slice through the middle, and then down we go. Okay. When you get to this back piece here, I usually drop it down, and then I cut through like this. So this could be about a medium dice. Okay, and you go ahead and throw that right in your pot. Just like so. And repeat. Okay, next up I'll do my celery. I basically have 4 ribs of celery. Okay? And I'm going to cut it right down the middle. These are kind of skinny ones. If you had larger ones, you might want to cut them down into thirds. And make sure you wash all your vegetables. I had some leftover celery in the fridge, so that's why I've got all these little pieces. Okay, just like that, and chop. And in your pot. Okay, next thing we'll do is we'll get our pepper. Now, you don't need to put pepper in your soup, but I have some peppers, so I want to use these up. So that's why I'm going to do peppers. Okay, I usually cut stem through the end, and then it's really easy to pop that seed core out of there. And then you just pull the remaining seeds out. Just like so. Voila. Put that in your compost. All right, again, medium dice. Just like so. Here comes my sous chef, Louis. What's up, Louis? You want a little piece of pepper? He likes peppers. Come on over here. They won't be able to see you on camera, but here you go. There you go. Okay. Okay. Next is to peel our carrots. Now these are juicer carrots. I like these because you can buy them by the piece at the store, and you can buy the amount you want. Now this is 3 fairly large ones. Obviously this one's a little bit short, but just so you know how much I have about 1½ pounds. Okay, there you go. Clean off your board, and let's get chopping. Okay, we're going to trim off the ends. This side doesn't need to be trimmed too much. They're trimmed off before, but I'm just going to trim a small slice off. And these stem ends a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom of these. All right, I cut them down into more of a manageable size. So When they're bigger carrots, it's just easier to handle. So we're going to cut it in half. And I'm going to cut these into thirds. This one here. Okay, I'm going to do about a medium dice. Okay, so it should look like that there. Okay, you can see the end of my finger. Uh-oh, dropped a carrot. Lewis is going for it. And in the pot. And repeat. All right, there you have it. Everything's in the pot. So let's go ahead and get this on the stove. Okay, I've got my pot on the stove. I'm going to use a heavier wooden spoon to stir my soup. A lot easier. Again, I got a tablespoon of olive oil in here, a teaspoon of minced garlic, a half teaspoon of dry thyme, and 2 each bay leaf, 1½ yellow onion, 3 medium to large size carrots, about 1½ pounds, 4 ribs of celery, and 1 sweet bell pepper. Okay, and that's an optional. So we're just gonna go ahead and let that pot heat up, and we're gonna saute this until the onions start to become clear. And while this is going, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my chicken. Okay, so this is my chicken. I have 2 pounds of chicken breast. These I partially grilled the other night. And I left them pretty raw, which is what I tried to do on purpose. So I'm going to cut this down. We're going to dice them about close to the same as our vegetable. Okay, one thing about soup that I'm pretty consistent with is I like to have all my items in there about the same size. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and cut this down into more manageable pieces. You probably can hear my pot sizzling in the background. Everything's starting to saute. That's what induction does for you. It gets hot fast. Okay, just go ahead and cut your chicken up. Just like that. Okay. What I'll do with this one, since it's so fat, I'm just going to cut it right through the middle. Just like that. It'll be a lot easier to slice and dice. See that? It's pretty rare yet, but the outside is seared. Just give it a little flavor, you know? Okay, just like so. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna throw all that back in your dish, and we're gonna get that into the vegetables in our pot. Okay, we're back at our pot. Things are looking really nice. I've got this on about a medium high. Don't need to cook it too hot unless you're in a hurry. So my onions are already starting to get that translucent color, and because I have chicken breast that's kind of on the rawer side, I'm going to go ahead and put that right in here. Okay. Now you do not need this much chicken. I'm doing mine a little heavier on chicken. You can do less. 1½ pounds would probably be sufficient. But we like a nice thick soup, so, and this will cook down as well because that chicken's not completely fully cooked, and the vegetables will cook down as well. All right, just continue to stir that, and we'll get back to the pot in just a couple minutes. All right, so while your vegetables and chicken are cooking in the pot, what do you do in the meantime? You kind of stay busy, right? So I'm going to take my egg noodles and put them into a container, and I'm going to weigh them out because I want 8 ounces. All right, it's ½ pound. And I noticed that these egg noodles are kind of long, so what I'll probably do is break them down a little bit. And I'll just do that by hand. I don't want such a long noodle. You can decide to do what you want. But it's your soup. 8.1. There you go, 8. Put a piece on there. Yeah, okay, perfect. 8 ounces. So now you have these noodles for another meal. You can either cook these off and do a stroganoff with it, some kind of other entree, or you can make another soup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close that bag, take this off my scale. All right, everything's cooking nicely. Smells great, by the way. So what I'm trying to do here is cook everything until, well, number one, I want the onions to be kind of that clear, translucent look, okay? And I'll show you what they look like right now. So there's my onions right here. So as you can see, they're pretty clear. And I'm looking to see if the chicken is mostly cooked, and it looks like it is, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and add that chicken stock to it. So most of the time I use chicken stock or chicken broth, that this is, when I don't have my own. So it's really good if you take a whole chicken and cook it with some water and vegetables and make your own stock. That's technically ideal, but I didn't have that this time, so I'm cheating with the broth. But it's good quality, so, and I like the lower sodium, so it's not too salty. You can always adjust later, right? That looks awesome. Okay, we're gonna bring that up to a boil and then we're gonna add those noodles. We can add. All right, while our soup is on the stove and it's heating up to a boil, what I'm doing right now is I'm breaking down these egg noodles a little bit. And the reason I'm doing that is, you know, when you do a soup, the product that's in your soup should fit on a spoon, but that won't fit on a spoon. It's like a little too big. So I want to break them down a little bit smaller, about 1.5 inches long. It's a little tedious, but you know what? You'll be happy that you did it because at least your soup will look good. And that's the rule of thumb when it comes to soup. It's trying to make sure that everything will fit on a spoon. All right, noodles are all broke up. Soup is getting hot. Now I haven't taken this stove down off of that medium-high heat. I haven't turned it down, so we're still running at that medium-high heat, and it's basically been perfect. One thing I like about soup is it's basically a one-pot deal. Easy to do. So before I put the noodles in, though, I want to make sure the soup comes up to a boil. I can show you this here. Does that look good? Everything's, you know, approximately similar size, so it looks awesome. All right, soup is coming up to a boil. Good. One thing I like about bay leaf, when you put it in your soup, it floats to the top, so they're easy to get out of there when you want to take them out at the end. All right, go ahead and drop your noodles right in there. Just like so. Give it a stir. And what I'll do is I will let that come back up to a boil and I'll reduce it to a simmer. And just to give you a little bit of a timeline, I've been working on this for about 45 minutes from start to finish, or start to this, okay? So it's been about 45 minutes. Okay, so I've got the soup onto a nice little simmer, and we're basically just gonna cook it until those egg noodles are soft. And there you have it, grilled chicken noodle soup. All right, guys, I'm back to my soup. I'm gonna put my black pepper in there. I'm gonna do 20 cranks. Okay, you can do more if you'd like. It's your soup. Now let's check that noodle, okay? So since I put this noodles in here, this soup has been cooking for just under 30 minutes. So I'm gonna check a noodle. Yep, they're nice and soft, okay? So I'm not gonna cook it any longer. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off, and I will do a recap with you guys on the grilled chicken noodle soup. Okay, so there's one method I like to do at the end of cooking soup, and it makes it a lot faster to cool, and that's adding ice at the end of your cook time, okay? That'll help cool it down faster, get it into a safer temperature so you don't have any issues with bacteria growth, okay? I know it sounds kind of gross, but that's, you know, rules you got to follow in the kitchen. Got to stay safe, keep people healthy, don't get anybody sick, okay? Nothing worse than salmonella. So Let's give you a little recap on what I did. So again, I had 2 pounds of chicken, tablespoon of oil. I used olive oil. I used a half teaspoon of dry thyme, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 2 dry bay leaf, okay? I sauteed that with my vegetables. And again, I had 1.5 yellow onion, diced, medium size. I had 1 yellow pepper, that's optional. I did 3 medium-sized carrots. It was about 1.5 pounds of carrots. I had 4 ribs of celery. Everything I diced down about, medium dice, okay? Threw everything in the pot, sauteed it a little bit until the onions were starting to get a little on that clear side. Then I added my chicken. And again, in the video, you notice that some of the chicken was still undercooked. I did that on purpose to add a lot of flavor to this, okay? Okay, I sauteed my vegetables. I sauteed my chicken with the vegetables. After that, I added my broth. I brought it up to a boil, added my noodles, and I cooked the noodles. Now, just so you know, the noodles took about 30 minutes to cook, okay? You don't want to overcook them so they're mushy. You want to have a little bit of texture in them still, okay? So in all, from the start of this soup until I finished it was 1 hour and 15 minutes. Pretty quick. But that's not including the cook time for my chicken. So that would take probably about 15 minutes total. That's marking it off, but you got to get that pan nice and hot. And then I refrigerate it overnight, or you can use some frozen product if you have that. The whole project was like an hour and a half roughly, right? So pretty quick and easy. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave me comments if you want to know any other details. As you notice, I didn't add any salt to this as well, just black pepper, okay? I didn't think you needed to add any salt, but guess what? I didn't taste it yet. So before even adding ice to it, I want to give it a taste. So let's give that a little taste off the top there. That's good. Really nice chicken flavor. That's what that raw chicken does when you cook it in there. It adds a lot more flavor to your broth. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Please subscribe if you like the channel. Give me some thumbs up. Ring that notification bell. Ding, 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 ding. Let me know you're on and watching. And otherwise, you guys have a great day. Chef Leroy and out. This is the ice method. Okay, that's 4 cups of ice. Stir that in. And there you go. Little ice bath. That cools it down by easily 10 degrees.